Hi, I'm Russell D. Jones.
Hey, Kevin Davies.
And we're here with D6 Mafia looking at the first spoilers from Born of the Gods from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, and I think it's an important note. These aren't official spoilers. They're just things that have been popping up on various spoiler sites and stuff. So that they've been translated from some, I think, Spanish leaks.
Yeah, most of them.
So, you know, these are by no means official spoilers, except for like one of them, I think.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of really excited to get talking about this set, so we figured we'd throw something out here with what we have so far.
Yeah, this is just going to be some brief coverage. We'll probably go through all the cards later when the official spoilers are out, just so if there are any minor changes to the wording, we make sure to cover those. But we just want to get these out to all the people and start talking about them. So
totally.
We're just going to go down through the colors here. Let's start with the one white card. It's the Silent Sentinel.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is these are speculated to be the promo cards for the decks for the pre-release.
Yeah.
So there's one for each color. And so just to preface that. Here we go. So Silent Sentinel in white. It's got the 7 casting cost, 4/6 flyer. It's funny to note all of these except for the green one have flying. But just sidebar. But yeah, and then, you know, he recurs enchantments to the battlefield whenever he attacks, which is pretty solid in an enchantment block. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he is playable in some really specific, like legacy, maybe modern combo-y decks.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect to see this guy in constructed too much, but I'm happy to have him in my, you know, limited pool for the pre-release and stuff.
Yeah,
and if I'm white, I won't be turning him down. He'll be in the deck.
I mean, we're going to go down the line on all these, but I mean, they're all really big. They're all very expensive to put into play.
It seems to be the general rule with a lot of these pre-release promos and stuff. They all tend to be like 5 to 7 cast cost, sort of big, splashy kind of creatures that
with some kind of a interesting ability.
Yeah, a lot of times they have some keywords from the set or whatever, but the last couple sets definitely seem to sort of see that trend in a lot of these pre-release promos.
I don't know if they're trying to slow the games down and push towards
yeah, and I mean, obviously they just don't want
later games.
Yeah.
But, I could see him in some Reanimator style decks where you cheat him into play either with, you know, Raise the Dead, whatever it is.
Sure.
And then use it to re-incur some enchantment, including, like, I mean, you could, you know, recur like a... Yeah, or Raise the Dead to pull something else and repeatedly pull something
there's some jank to be had there for sure. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, just in a block or limited format, you know, he's got a lot of really fun enchantments and auras to recur in Theros. So,
Gift of Immortality maybe be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, actually that would be So I guess we'll move on to the blue one.
Yeah,
here.
let's keep going.
So the Mediator of the Ideal, who you know, 4/5. For 6 with flying, 2 and a blue. And then, so, you know, sort of following that theme of bigger flying creatures, but he's got a new keyword on it.
Yeah, Inspiration.
Which I think is really cool because it seems to follow the whole idea behind, you know, like muses and that sort of Greek thing, which is fun.
Yes.
And the thing that gets me is, well, let's go ahead and just, whenever he becomes untapped, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land card, you put it into the battlefield with a manifestation counter on it, and then it's an enchantment in addition to its other types.
Right. So we've talked about this, and whether or not Inspiration, that is what Inspiration does. That's supposed to be the rules text, or if that's Inspiration is simply like an untap ability, and then his unique ability is that he puts a permanent into play and turns it into an enchantment.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is the first Inspiration thing we do, and it doesn't have any reminder text on it, so we have no idea what Inspiration exactly means for this. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see when more spoilers start rolling out. But still a very cool ability. I mean, it would do exactly the same thing regardless of whether there was Inspiration in front of it or not. But that just means it's an ability term and not a keyword if you're hip with the Magic design lingo.
Right, but could be really interesting with any kind of untapping mechanic.
Totally, yeah. The cool thing, it's cool that it's not like just one of the attacks, but it's when it untaps, so you can do some kind of funky things with that. I think it's really cool flavorfully because it's like, it's Inspiration. It's like you're pulling something out of a dream and making it real, but then it's still made out of dream stuff, so it's an enchantment. I don't.
Yeah, no, the flavor on those counters is really neat. If that's what if that's what the counters mean, is everything with the...
It's also weird because it doesn't say that the manifestation counter is what makes it an enchantment. Right. It's just the manifestation counter actually doesn't do anything in this equation. So we'll just have to see what the rules text on inspiration is.
Right. It's just one of those problems with the translation. You're not really 100% sure, what the card means exactly. And some words might change. It could change the whole power of the card. But
totally.
Well, let's move along. Devour of Hope is the black one, a 5 and 2 black, so really expensive.
Big
flying,
black demon.
6/4. The abilities: pay a black, sacrifice another creature to regenerate the Devour of Hope, or pay 2 and a black, sacrifice 2 other creatures to destroy target creature. Again, decent abilities. In board control,
he's kind of
expensive.
I think he's kind of the lamest one of the bunch, to be honest.
Probably.
He just does the least interesting things.
Well, we've seen that kind of thing before.
Yeah, he's just sort of like another big black demon that eats other things to do things. And the things that he eats things for just aren't very exciting.
No. Just off the top of my head, in the Theros block itself, you've got Devotion, things that put like harpies into play.
The black promo from Theros is even more interesting because he at least had a new mechanic on him, and
I'm not saying it's good, but at least that way you're putting out a lot of creatures and you've got a lot of fodder
and
eat
just
up your opponent's
from an
creatures.
intro standpoint, much more interesting. I don't really have much more to say about this guy.
So Firestir Dragon, 4, 2 red, flying, 5/4. And then you can pay 1 and a red. Firestir Dragon deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature can't block this combat. Activate this ability only if Firestir Dragon is attacking. So this is a lot similar to a lot of other dragons that have been printed.
It's been sort of a trend lately. He's no Thundermaw Hellkite, but he sort of follows that same sort of design paradigm. They do stuff when they attack. They prevent blocking. They zap stuff.
Trying to think of it's like a flame. I'm not remembering the name. It was a Flame Burst Dragon, something like that.
I think it
came out of like 2012.
Well, Flame Burst Dragon was, I think, he gave you a fireball whenever he attacked.
Yeah, okay. If I'm thinking of the right one, yeah. So that's just kind of what it reminds me of. Also,
similar.
More useful, I would say.
They're not blocking. I'd say he's better than a Flame Burst Dragon in general.
He's different. He's just different. Flame Burst has his own...
better is too strong of a word, but...
own uses, but if you can stop...
he's got that cool aggro. You get him down. He's 6, so he's a little steep for like an aggro deck or something, but...
But if your opponent has something big that can block him, you can just shut that right down.
Yeah, the not blocking clause is really what makes that interesting, for sure.
So let's check out the last one, the green one.
Okay, I think this one's kind of the coolest one for me.
Totally agree.
Just because... so we've got a wild Nessian Devastator.
Yes.
Yeah, he costs 6, 4 and 2 green. He is a Hydra, and he's a 6/6.
Yay,
but
Hydras.
The really exciting thing about him is he has another new mechanic on him that is Tribute. So he has Tribute 6, which is when you play this guy, target opponent, so you choose one opponent, and they get to choose whether to put 6 1/1 counters on him. This is Tribute 6. If they don't, then when he comes into play, he gets to fight something.
Yeah.
So, they get to basically choose whether he gets to be removal or not, which is really cool. The thematic, like, pay tribute to me or I'll kill your guy is kind of awesome. Yeah. And you get a 12/12 for 6 if they want to pay that tribute, which is...
Right. Thematically, just totally awesome. Hydras, I'm really liking the Hydras that are coming out.
I love that they're running with
this
Hydras.
This one, in general, I don't like to give my opponent the choice. Because obviously it kind of puts the power in their hands, and they're going to obviously try to pick the thing that they think is least devastating. Probably the fight most of the time. But if they just have an answer to him, then I don't know. You paid 6 mana and you got your bad 12/12, but then they're just going to eat him up. He doesn't trample, which is a little bit rough.
I definitely get that.
With all the other ones having flying, it would have been really nice to have a 12/12 trample.
Yeah, Him giving your opponent a choice immediately sort of sets off the alarms in my head, like, I hate giving my opponent choices. Right. But, at least it's like, at least it's giving your opponent a choice between kind of a rock and a hard place.
True.
But, you can always count on, if they have removal, they're going to give you that 12/12 and then kill it on their turn. Like, it's not, you'll always get the thing that's better for your opponent that way, which is why people, you don't want to give your opponent choices. But still, just a really interesting mechanic.
Yeah,
does
I
really
like
cool
the mechanic.
things. Yeah,
I do like
very
it.
Flavorful. Just really both of the mechanics that are on these cards, just really cool. both of the new ones for Born of the Gods.
I can't wait to see what other cards have those abilities.
Totally.
So let's move on. So this is the one.
So I think this is our only official spoiler, and it's one of the new Planeswalkers in this set, or only new Planeswalker in this set.
I had heard two.
Are there two?
I thought there was supposed to be two.
There might be one other one, but at least
I say that and I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah. So. I'm not going to commit because I fear being wrong.
But there's at least one, and here she is.
Yeah, and finally the first blue-green Planeswalker.
Right. Yay! Finally. Am I excited?
No.
Kinda. We'll go with kinda.
Kinda. Okay.
Not what I was hoping for, but we'll go ahead.
Yeah. But, all right. Anyway, we're looking at a 4-drop Planeswalker. Starts with 2 loyalty. And her plus,
rough.
Yeah, it's tough. She's kind of squishy. She's expensive. She starts kind of low loyalty. Her +1, at least she protects herself, which is something.
Huge.
It's until the end of turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to and by a permanent an opponent controls.
Right.
So I mean, at least you want a Planeswalker's +1 ability to sort of help keep that Planeswalker alive, and that certainly does that.
It certainly does. And at first glance, I was like, but it could be better than I initially thought.
Totally.
I think, permanent helps because you never know what your opponent might have. Maybe it's an artifact, maybe dissension, who knows?
Yeah.
And it'll shut it down. It protects her obviously from whatever nasty, or you. It protects your face from the nastiest creature your opponent has on the board.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Not at all. And I mean, then we get onto her -1 ability, draw a card, and you can play an extra land this turn. It's card draw, it's potential mana excel, so that's solid. It's a decent -1. And then her last one, her ultimate ability goes off at -5, and you gain an emblem with at the end of your turn, put a 9/9 blue Kraken creature onto the battlefield, so you get a 9/9 every turn.
Now, that's pretty money. Is it
big.
exciting?
I mean, it goes. I like that it's at the end of your turn, so it goes online. The turn that you pop that. You don't have to wait till like the beginning of your next turn to get your first 9/9.
Exactly.
That's nice. I mean, that's a good touch. That's sort of what redeems it, in my opinion.
You don't have to wait a whole, because most of them are during your upkeep.
A lot of times, most of those kinds of effects tend to go off during your upkeep.
But I'd say the one thing, so I'm glad that they finally got a blue-green Planeswalker. Those are my colors.
It's nice to see them filling out all of the color combinations that haven't.
I can't wait for the next one, but we'll see. It probably won't be anytime soon. I'll say the one thing that doesn't super excite me about her is I think that blue-green, and the reason I like it is that it's such an interesting and unusual color combination, and green and blue seem to be doing such opposite things. Green is so beat down and so manic, and yellow,
it's the way a lot of the opposing colors sort of get that sort of that dichotomy. That's really interesting. That's why I tend to prefer opposing color combinations like red, white, and blue, red.
Yeah, because blue is so controlled, so it just feels. And obviously they have some overlap, but they're so different, and I just don't feel like this Planeswalker was everything she could have been. With these colors, I don't really. I mean, I feel like the middle ability, draw a card, that's totally blue. Play an extra land, that's totally green.
Totally green. Yeah.
Super fitting, but the other two, I don't know.
Yeah,
the first one feels more like a white ability to me. The last one kind of feels green, but doesn't really feel blue.
Yeah.
But anyway,
fair enough. I feel you. Yeah, but we'll just see. And I always seem to guess wrong how Planeswalkers are going to be received. So.
Right.
Anywho, we've got one more real spoiler here, and this is going to be the buy a box promo.
Yeah.
So if you buy a box, you'll get a shiny promo of this. It's called Nefarious Burn. Mm-hmm. It is a red spell. It costs 1 and 3 red, and it deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And then if it's your turn, you get to scry 2. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. I think it's one of the few things that we see that actually skips the player and just only lets you hit a creature or a planeswalker, which is kind of interesting. So, I mean, that's actually kind of a weaker than just letting you hit a player, but it's something that hasn't been done before, and I have to appreciate that. So
it's unique in how many different burn spells can you really do? But it's something we haven't quite seen before. It's not splashable, but that's okay.
Not at all. Yeah, and I think we can expect to see this possibly as a theme in this set, but it's an instant that gives you a bonus if you play it on your turn.
Yeah, it could be a cycle,
which I think is interesting. Maybe a cycle, maybe just something that they play with at various rarities or something. I think it's cool. You know, it's like it can be fast, but if you can get away with playing it at a slower speed, then you get to scry. You know,
yeah, so, scry 2, which is good.
I mean,
there's not too many things.
It's better than scry 1. Not as good as scry 3.
It is not.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen too many scry 2. It just, I mean, top of my head, Magma Jet, which was a reprint.
Yep, and this is sort of like Magma
and there's a couple other ones that are escaping me right now, but most everything's been scry 1. So
especially in Theros, there's been a lot of scry 1. So yeah, scry 2 is very good.
Yeah. No, it's versatile. It's sort of you know, it's a choose your own adventure card,
if you will.
Right.
Yeah. So we've only really got one and a half more things to talk about here.
We'll call it that.
Yeah. So we have. The Sprigleaf drum is a
Springleaf drum.
Springleaf. That's right. I keep thinking it's friggin' Sprigleaf.
Sprigs.
All right. Springleaf drum is going to be a reprint at Common. It's the artifact that
it's from Lorwyn.
Yeah, it was originally printed in Lorwyn. It's tap an untapped creature you control. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It's just kind of quick mana fixing to tap your creatures.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's if you're running a lot of colors, I guess I could see it helping. You know.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's just sort of. I felt the need to mention it because we just know that it's coming. So
there you go.
The only other thing is we're not sure about it, but we'll probably see at least some of the rest of the Scrylands in this set. It's unclear if we're going to be getting all of them, or if they're going to be split over the next 2 sets, or what's going on. Right. But we know they're coming in one of these 2 sets, so be on the lookout.
Right. I mean, we'll just say the ones that are spoiled. The ones that are not official are the.
And I don't even know where these came from, so I can't even. I don't want to substantiate these because we don't even.
Well, we've seen the white blue one, the black red one, and the green white one are the ones that are unofficially spoiled.
Question mark.
In theory, these would be part of Born of the Gods. Maybe the other 2 missing ones are coming in the same set. Maybe they're coming in the next set.
Maybe we'll see them in Journey into Nyx. Who knows?
But I just hope we don't see all 10 in the final set.
I don't think
taking up rare slots.
No, that's never going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Well,
not all 10 of them. No, I promise you.
God, I just hope you're right.
Yeah, this is not a big set, small set like Return. Okay. I don't think they're that crazy to do this in a double small set block. But we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, there we go. So that basically wraps up the unofficial spoilers list, kind of our first look. Check back with us for other spoilers as cards are released.
More as we get them.
Yeah, as soon as they release, we'll try to do some more videos, and then we'll probably do a big wrap up at the end, maybe do some highlights from each color.